Luther Adler was an American actor best known for his work in theater, but who also worked in film and television. He also directed plays on Broadway. Early life and career. Adler was born Luther Adler on May 4, 1903 in New York City. He was one of 6 children born to Russian Jewish actors Sarah and Jacob P. Adler. His father was considered to be one of the founders of the Yiddish theater in America. His siblings also worked in theater. His sister Stella Adler achieved fame as an actress and drama teacher. His brother Jay also achieved some fame as an actor. Adler's father gave him his first acting job in the Yiddish play, Schmendrick, at the Thalia Theater in Manhattan in 1908. Adler was 5 years old. His first Broadway plays were The Hand of the Potter in 1921, Humoresque in 1923, Monkey Talks in 1925, Money Business and We Americans in 1926, John in 1927, Red Rust and Street Scene in 1929. Years in the group theater. In 1931, Adler became one of the original members of the group theater, a New York City theater collective formed by Cheryl Crawford, Harold Clurman, and Lee Strasberg. The founders, as well as the actors in the group, tended to hold left-wing political views and wanted to produce plays that dealt with important social issues. The collective lasted for 10 years. Had 20 productions, and served as an inspiration for many actors, directors, and playwrights who came after it. During those years, the group's members included Luther, Luther's sister and brother, Stella Adler and Jay Adler, Elia Kazan, John Garfield, Paul Green, Howard Da Silva, Harry Morgan, Frank Iptone, John Randolph, Joseph Bromberg, Michael Gordon, Will Geer, Clifford Odets and Lee J. Cobb. Elia Kazan considered Adler to be the best actor working in the company. In 1932 Adler starred in John Howard Lawson's Success Story and garnered rave reviews for his performance. In 1933 Adler briefly joined the Catherine Cornell Company, playing opposite Cornell in Alien Corn. But in 1934 he returned to the group and played alongside his sister Stella in The Gold Eagle Guy. Unfortunately, Gold Eagle Guy was not popular with audiences and had a short run. Adler had suspected the play would not succeed, remarking, shortly before it opened, "Boys, I think we're working on a stiff." Adler went on to appear in group theater productions, Awake and Sing, and Paradise Lost, and he performed with Francis Farmer in Golden Boy. He also appeared in Kurt Weill's anti-war musical Johnny Johnson and originated the role of Captain Joshua in the 1939 group theater production of Thunder Rock. By the late 1930s, the cohesiveness of the group began to crumble. The chronic financial problems and long-simmering disputes about the method began to chip away at their solidarity, and in 1941 the group dissolved. After the group theater, by the early 1940s Adler began to direct, but his first production, They Should Have Stood in Bed, closed after only 11 performances in 1942. His next directorial venture, A Flag Is Born, ran for 120 performances in 1946 and featured newcomer Marlon Brando in one of the major roles. In 1965, when Zero Mostel left the Broadway cast of Fiddler on the Roof during a contract dispute, Adler took over the role of Tevi. Film and television career. In 1937 Adler began to appear in films, although they were never his highest priority. His credits include House of Strangers, DOA, The Desert Fox, The Story of Rommel, Voyage of the Damned and Absence of Malice. He also acted frequently on television in such programs as the anthology series, Crossroads, General Electric Theater, Kraft Television Theater and Robert Montgomery Presents. He guest-starred in such drama adventure series as The Twilight Zone. In the episode, The Man in the Bottle, where he played Adolf Hitler in one scene reminiscent of his portrayal in The Desert Fox, The Untouchables. Ben Casey, 77 Sunset Strip Mission Impossible, Hawaii Five-0, most notably in the series' only 3-part episode, V for Vashon. The Streets of San Francisco and Naked City and Route 66. Private life. Adler was married to actress Sylvia Sidney from 1938 until 1946, and father of Sidney's only child, her son Jacob, who predeceased her. He died in Kutztown, Pennsylvania, and was buried in Mount Carmel Cemetery, Glendale, New York, next to several of his relatives, including his older sister Stella. Filmography. As an actor, Lances Pie, Shrat, Cornered, Marcel Jarnac, Saigon, Lt. Keon, The Loves of Carmen, Danker, Wake of the Red Witch, Mayrant Roystahl Sydney, House of Strangers, Joe Monetti, Under My Skin, Louis Bork, DOA, Magic, Kiss Tomorrow Goodbye, Keith Cherokee, Mandan, South Sea Sinner, Cognac, Somerset Maugham TV Theatre, Faith Baldwin Romance Theatre, M. Dan Langley, The Magic Face, Rudy Janus, Adolf Hitler, The Desert Fox, The Story of Rommel, Adolf Hitler, Hoodlum Empire, Nick Manzani, The Tall Texan, John Tynan, The Mask, The Motorola Television Hour, General Fox, The Miami Story, Tony Brill, Center Stage, Jubal Banks, The United States Steel Hour, Judge Brock, Sydney West, Studio One, Joe Rundle, General Electric Theatre, Warner Johnson, Kraft Television Theatre, Crash Out, Pete Mendoza, Robert Montgomery Presents, The Girl in the Red Velvet Swing, Delphin Delmas, Crossroads, Hot Blood, Marco Torino, Playhouse 90, Garvin, Molotov, Irving Werner, The Last Angry Man, Dr. Max Vogel, A Month in the Country, Ignatiy Ilyich Shchelsky, Play of the Week, Ignatiy Ilyich, Westinghouse Desilu Playhouse, Sal Raimondi, The Twilight Zone, Arthur Castle, The Untouchables, Gus Marco, Emile Bouchard, Charlie Zenko, Naked City, Sean Wicklow, Willard Manson, Henry Torrell, Mr. Kovar, The Islanders, Frank Foligno, The DuPont Show of the Month, Straightaway, Target, The Corruptors, Victor Cobalt, Jonathan, Ben Casey, Dr. Michael Wildman, Episode, The Insolent Heart, Dr. Boasox, Episode, The White Ones Are Dolphins, Route 66, Harry Wender, 77 Sunset Strip, Thomas Allen, The Three Sisters, Chebuticon, Cast a Giant Shadow, Jacob Zion, The Sunshine Patriot, Imre Hynek, The Brotherhood, Dominic Bertolo, Mission Impossible, Leo Walker, Episode, Phantoms, The Name of the Game, Mark Osborne, The Psychiatrist, God Bless the Children, Dr. Bernard Altman, The Psychiatrist, Dr. Bernard Altman, Hawaii Five-0, Dominic Vachon, Episodes, V for Vachon, The Son, V for Vachon, The Father, and V for Vachon, The Patriarch, Charles Ogden, Episode, How to Steal a Masterpiece, Search, Vol Mayer, Chelsea Dho, Dr. Levine, M.E., H.E.C. Ramsey, Victor Borden, Episode, The Detroit Connection, Crazy Joe, Falco, The Streets of San Francisco, Victor, Episode, Mr. Nobody, The Man in the Glass Booth, Presiding Judge, Hawaii Five-0, Archive Footage, Dominic Vachon, Episode, The Case Against McGarrett, Live a Little, Steal a Lot, Max, The Eye, Mean Johnny Barrows, Voyage of the Damned, Professor Weiler, Absence of Malice, Malderone, as himself, The Making of Absence of Malice,